And we're live. How did that get messed up?
What'd you mess up?
I already gotta make fixes.
Here. Well, I'm live. Might have to refresh your. Let's see.
No, we're good. I got it. We are good. Current topic is incorrect. Let's fix that.
Weekend gaming. Mine. So yeah, we're live on YouTube and we're live on Twitch. After
Taking over the internet.
After you get Colin's camera up on my end.
Weren't you just ragging on me?
You were just showing, and then it disappeared for you. So that's
Killer Instinct.
No, it's not.
Yeah, we fail on Twitch because I can't change it. I'm not logged in.
Oh, you're terrible.
I'm not. This is all you. That's you.
How's that me? You got Twitch.
Can we change it? I'm not logged in on your account. You know that. So I can't change it because you can't change it through OBS.
I can't log in right now. Not
no.
on mine. Nope. I'll pass you.
Yeah, pass me the creds. Oh, this is the pre-show.
Yeah, it's a pre-show.
Welcome to the pre-show.
We're actually streaming simultaneously on YouTube and on Twitch. So if you guys want to, if you're on YouTube and you're watching and you want to go to the Twitch channel, you can. That is over on Twitch TV /Arctic with a Y.
What episode are we on?
45.
45?
We're on episode 45, week 45. Did I just cover myself? It did. It just covered me. Yeah. So we're trying to work out the kinks here.
Oh, the kinks have been worked out.
Hopefully. I'm waiting on you before we open up.
All right, we're good now. So before we start, since you guys gave me so much shit, I think I get the pleasure of pointing out that Well, actually, this is gonna not be that cool because Cracker Box is still in full effect. I was going to brag. You see, the snow in Dallas this week delayed my shipment of my camera, but did get a nice new shiny mic, and the mic arm, pop filter, and shock mount will all be set up next week, and I'll have a camera.
We're stepping our game up. We're stepping our game up.
That said, we're skyless flipping today because of how I have to set this up.
Really?
Yep. So the skyless flip is in full effect for one last show.
So sad.
Yep. So the tea kettle is no more.
So sad.
Tea kettle is no more.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing. Death to the tea kettle. So today's show, 7 minutes in, I'm just gonna rail through what we're gonna talk about. Obviously, weekend gaming stuff. We have just a bunch of news that kind of hit over the since last week, since the last show. We're gonna talk about our games, Northeast Land, which I watched on Team Spooky. Bigness actually gave me the link to that. I wasn't even thinking about it before I saw it. Destiny, Titanfall, VGX stuff, No Man's Sky, which was probably the game of the show, I think for a lot of people, was for me. Xbox One system update is basically coming out today. I don't know if it did already. 5, yeah, it should have. YouTube Content ID claims, NSA, CIA stuff. I have an interesting topic I want to talk about with Game DVR and Twitch TV integration. Because Sony came out with their figures, their numbers, and then the CronusMAX, which we'll talk about here in a bit. Now, Mitch wanted us to talk a little bit about the team stuff going on with YouTube, or I was gonna say YouTube teams, the Call of Duty teams.
Oh yeah,
all that drama. So I mean, maybe
I don't think I'm that up to date, but we can maybe talk about it at the end.
Yeah. So
I just started reading in the last 5 minutes, so
yeah, it's about all you can really do. Yeah, but yeah, just culture
really
around team changes.
Yeah.
So started off with the weekend. My daughter's birthday party was on Sunday, so as you can imagine, Christy had me running a bunch of errands, getting things all ready the day before and the day of. So my weekend gaming was like cut in half, couldn't stream, couldn't even upload any videos. I think I did one video. I did a late night stream on Sunday. So I was pretty much out of commission. I did get in some Battlefield 4. I played with Colin. Then I played like 2 games by myself, and I played Killer Instinct last night, and I played some Rise, Son of Rome last night while I was trying to fix my audio issue that I was having on Sunday night when I did that ranked Spawning Lab like hour-and-a-half long stream. Someone said, glad to see you. We finally streaming on YouTube now. Yeah, I'm happy to be there too, although the chat is really delayed, so should be
and
cool.
Our chat's split now to add to the confusion.
But other than that, I didn't really play anything else. I wanted to add in wishlist games that are kind of either early access, like Steam games or whatever. Colin sounds like he doesn't want to do it because every week he's just going to be like, Titanfall, Destiny. But there's actually a couple games I didn't get to fill out my list completely. Space Engineers, I want to play that. Steam early access game. Have the link for Twitch guys right now. I can only pull up one chat at a time, and I would have both up, but YouTube's chat doesn't pop out. Who put in that long link? Oh my. Gotta watch that, J.O. the kid. I don't have any rules out, but watch that link.
Just a link to a computer? Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, there's the link to
Space
Space Engineers for people on Twitch. I'm really interested in playing that game. Starbound, which just came out, which is like a space Terraria. I always want to say Terraria.
I'm kind of interested in Starbound.
Kind of want to play that. And then there's one other game. It's like Steam Engineers or something like that. I can't remember. It's another like space Like I'm into
Did you just
space
mix
stuff right
space
now.
engineers with whatever else?
Yeah, it's like a mix of those two. So I'm like really into these space like simulator slash builder games right now. Space Engineers, I can't wait to play it. Um, but I really want to sink like I don't know like 10 hours or so into it and build a ship and then crash it. That's all I want to do. So go ahead, Colin. You got the floor. Weekend. What's your weekend like?
I got the Project Spark Beta, which obviously I've been pretty excited for and waiting on, and streamed that a bit on, I think it was Friday, Saturday, or Saturday, Sunday. That was pretty much it. I played some Counter-Strike, a little bit of Battlefield, watched a little bit of the NEC tournament. I saw the Marvel portion of it.
Okay.
And I think that's it. Pretty uneventful, really. Just been leveling up my game in Counter-Strike.
That's I don't know what to say about that. It's kind of lame. About as lame as my weekend for gaming. Give me a reasonable wish list. Don't just say
Reasonable wish list? Like, my next purchase is Titanfall. Well, my next purchase is an Xbox One, and then Titanfall. So that's it. Like, I got nothing else. There's a big Dota update coming. They've been teasing Frostivus, and then Frostivus is now canceled by the king. So we'll see what happens. They actually removed the character from the game as part of the lore announcement for Frostivus. So the character's just gone now, which is pretty freaking crazy.
Yeah, you and I were talking about that. I was like, who does that? Who does that?
I can't think of anyone. I think he'll probably get like remodeled or something, and then put back in. But it's pretty crazy, especially with like tournaments and stuff going.
Right.
So, and yeah, thanks to Bigness for leveling up my crosshair on Counter-Strike. That helped immensely when I actually put on a proper crosshair. Now I've just been wrecking shop.
What crosshair did you end up adding?
I just grabbed get rights. I was just like, let me go with a pro config, and I just clicked get rights because he's the beast. And then I didn't edit it at all, so I'm just playing with his shit.
Straight from the pros. That's how you got to do it, though.
Yeah, that's
Does
the
he
conservative way.
get a little bonus from that? You have to pay like $2.50.
No.
Oh,
That'd be smart, though. Microtransaction of pro configs.
Exactly. Fix that properly. All busy trying to fix that. Chat. You can see it. That's pretty much it for those. Let me go ahead and switch this around. Topic: weekend gaming. Let's get into. Should we talk about VGX as a whole? Let's talk about VGX Awards as a whole.
You didn't watch live, right?
I did. I watched a little bit.
Watch it?
It's like like little bits here and there is what I was able to watch. So I think did you watch the whole thing?
Yes, I unfortunately watched the whole thing. I actually had a Google Hangout going with a few people.
Okay, so I'm going to let you take the floor on it. I'm gonna grab my pizza before it gets cold, and then I'm gonna come back and add my thoughts on it.
Okay. So yeah, for those that didn't catch VGX, it was pretty much as I put in the thing. It was cringeworthy. The entire thing was pretty cringeworthy. There's actually a 15-minute recap video of all of the cringe. Well, I will say it's supposed to be a recap of all the cringe moments, but it was like maybe 2/3 of the cringe moments. There's probably another extra third of cringe moments that didn't make the cut for the cringe video. So it was pretty bad. It seemed like Joel McHale didn't want to be there at all. He was just being a dick the entire show. And then Jeff Cayley was like holding back the urge to punch Joel McHale in the face. And like that was the tension that you could see building throughout the entire show. And that's what made it watchable. Like, if it wasn't for that, it might not have been watchable. But I was waiting for them to come to blows. And then they just like cut off to this really awkward concert segment for 30 minutes. And then came back and finished up. Like, the content that was shown was mostly stuff we had already seen before with like very slight changes. So it wasn't even like we got any crazy cool game announcements, which like VGA sometimes pulled out good game announcements, right? Like a few years ago they had some big stuff. there's usually at least like 2 or 3 things that you come out of it like, oh, cool, that was new. But this year it was like, it was No Man's or
No Man's Sky.
Yeah,
Come on,
like
Colin, get it right.
That was the one game. And like Division had some stuff, but it was just a tech demo. Like it was showing off their engine and basically selling their engine was all the video is for, which is cool. Like me personally, I enjoy that kind of stuff. You know, like because that's the field that I work in, so it's interesting. But again, like really, it wasn't showing anything super crazy. It was just that they were doing all that stuff. So that was all for that. Destiny showed the same shit they've shown like 3 times now, with a few scenes cut and clipped differently.
Yep.
And then Titanfall, where we were all hoping for like a big beta announcement, showed video of 2 different kinds of mech types, and then we'll talk a little bit more about the potential beta stuff there. But there was no announcement, and like the segment with them was really awkward too, so there wasn't even like any good questions answered really.
Exactly.
So that was the end. I mean, it was pretty interesting because they tried to change the formula a bit so that they were focusing on like bringing developers in and doing interviews. So it's kind of like a prolonged game trailer TV kind of episode.
Mm-hmm.
But like Jeff Keighley asked mostly boring questions, and Joel McHale tried to liven it up, but he was mostly just being a dick. So like the entire thing just kind of fell apart.
I mean, there were some jokes in there that were blatantly like, why did you even make that joke?
A few times it looked like he was reading off a teleprompter, though. Like, it looked like he was reading the joke, and it was like, why would they ever write that? You know what I mean?
There was one joke about, who would they have? I can't remember who it was on, but they quoted Atari, and when I saw that, I was like, why would he even say that? Like, that even made no sense. Like, it made absolutely no sense. They were talking about like a new game in development, and he's made a reference to like the Atari. I was like, what? And then, sure enough, I either read
wasn't briefed at all.
Yeah, it was either Polygon or GameSpot or IGN, one of the two. No, it was Kotaku. It was Kotaku that I read that on. Kotaku pointed out all the things that were wrong with the show, and I'd say 95% of it I agree with, maybe even higher, 99.3% I agree with, and they cited that one Atari joke when I was just like, what am I watching? Joel's like almost like didn't want to be there style attitude, like these are the VGX Awards, I don't really care. They're paying me, but I don't really care. Like, get out of fucking games then. Like, why are you doing games? Go do something else. If you can't land anything else, then be enthusiastic about the fucking game show.
That's kind of weird thing is like he has other stuff going on. Like he has quite a bit of other stuff going on, so I don't get why he would take the gig if he wasn't interested.
I just lost.
Makes me wonder if like maybe Spike had him like an IOU kind of thing, you know. It didn't seem like he was prepared to be there.
Exactly. Sure. So I mean, they could have got anyone else to do that award show. Like, get someone that is actually involved in gaming, has a personality with the gaming people that, you know, resonates, and let them host the show. At least they will be more enthusiastic, more informative, probably ask the correct questions. That was my issue with it. The show formatting, all that could probably use some work. I think it's.
I mean, the thing is, like, I can understand like asking for him to take it more seriously, but then they did the really awful like sketch segments in between that were like just off the wall weird. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
they were just offensive to gamer culture. Really, like ultimately that's what they were, which is what made it even stranger. Like having PewDiePie, like having him as one of the representatives, you know?
Yeah.
And then like the Mega 64 guys are really hard to understand if you aren't a fan of Mega 64.
LOL Gaming wants us to talk about the Nintendo 64. I'm happy that I saw that part because it was so, or not Nintendo 64, Nintendo devs up there.
When Reggie was up there?
There's president of the U.S. I can't remember his name for whatever reason.
It was
Reggie.
It was Reggie, and then the guy from Retro Games that they didn't introduce.
Retro was in Austin, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's down
Okay.
here.
So
That's where Ian's
right, Ian's wife, fiance,
wife? Yeah,
fiance.
whatever. Yeah,
Um,
that's where she
but
works.
that was the most awkward of all of the devs that were up there that I saw. I
I don't
can't
know.
think of
At
one
one
that was more
point,
awkward than that. Reggie was really awkward.
yeah, but
Reggie
at one
was
point, Joel straight up asked for one of the guys to stop talking from the one group. So it's like, I wish you would stop talking so much. Like, I think that takes the cake. But yes, they were both very awkward.
that was just
Mostly the fact they didn't introduce the guy from Retro at all. He's just standing there in the middle, like.
And then Reggie says, "Oh wait, did Reggie say that? Are you guys gonna introduce such and such?"
He's
like,
oh yeah,
and then Joel,
you haven't even introduced him. And Joel's like, wait, I thought he was. He pointed over to Jeff, and Jeff's like, yeah, I thought you were. So like they all just stood there, and then no one even introduced him after that.
Nobody introduced
They
him.
didn't even transition. Just like, yeah, this is so and so from Retro.
It was just horrible all the way around. Then Joel asked him about the pin on his jacket. It was the Metroid pin. Yeah, I'm showing off Metroid. Then he segues into, so you didn't really give us any news. Are you gonna give us any more news? Like maybe some Metroid news? Is that coming? And Reggie's like, well, he was like, he started to say, of course. He said, of course. Then he stopped. Then he was like, you guys are always asking for more stuff. I've given you all this stuff, and you're always asking for more. Just like,
especially since Retro worked on Metroid Prime, which is why it would have been very relevant for him to talk about. It's pretty funny.
Cranky Kong, baby. Exonaut, Cranky Kong. I'm trying to watch both of these chats, Colin. You don't have that duty. I'm watching the
duty.
Yeah. I'm watching the YouTube chat and the Twitch chat. Like, this is craziness.
And like the Loiter Squad segments are really awful too. Like, I think that was probably the worst part for me. Like, the entire GTA segment was probably the worst to me.
Let's just talk about some of these individually, since we're talking about the awards. Joe, I think there's a lot of room for improvement. I do like that it's not as cheesy as the VGA Awards were.
I would prefer the big Hollywood production that the VGAs were, personally. Just because you at least acknowledge that it was at least you acknowledge that it was like a big Hollywood production, and you didn't try to slip it in under the guise of like, yeah, this is gamer culture, when you weren't really representing it in a very positive light at all. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I would prefer to have Samuel L. Jackson out there just bringing celebrity after celebrity out.
That was true. Now, on the flip side, I watched. After I watched some of the comments from the VGX Awards, I went and watched Machinima's Insider Gaming Awards, and theirs was just as awkward. Boring. Theirs was just as awkward, and it was boring. And those were all gaming centric people, but the way the awards were presented, which was how VGA Awards were, was just they started the awards before people were getting in the building. So they were introducing people and saying, oh, here are the nominees for such and such. They would call out the nominees. The nominees wouldn't be there. They would be like, oh, well, he's on his way. And the two dudes hosting would accept the award and give a award speech for them. And it was just like, what? What are you guys doing?
Would you say it was more awkward than announcing it as if a studio audience was there when there was no studio audience? That's how the VGX was.
It was about
and the winner is Rockstar, and then he paused for an applause. There'd be 4 seconds of silence.
Yeah.
It's just like, why are you even announcing it in that manner? Like, why is that the thing?
Yeah, it was pretty bad. So, segueing into
let's talk about some of the stuff. Do you want to go to
highlights?
Titanfall?
What's that?
We need Titanfall or No Man's Sky?
Let's go No Man's Sky since there's less information on that.
Okay.
So all we saw, I'm going to talk about No Man's Sky a little bit more than maybe you will. I'm really excited for this game for a number of reasons. The most important reason being that I like the game idea to a point where it's something that I would be interested in developing myself. Just put it that way. If you haven't seen the trailer, Colin, do you have the trailer you can link for Twitch? I can't link it on the YouTube chat because there's no way for me to. Their admin is just awful by comparison. But they're what is the procedural design makes it so that the universe that is created is I want to say unique. Each world unique. Each encounter that you have is unique, and it's a free exploration game where you can hop into your little. They use like a fighter, a TIE fighter, and then you can just fly around the universe and interact with planets. You land on a planet, you know, you're on like an ice planet. All of a sudden, you're on a planet that has beaches and oceans, and based on the, I guess the follow up that Polygon did, there's also going to be some combat in there, which they kind of showed maybe some aerial combat, like shooting at the asteroid and then flying through the asteroid. But I think the real question, and I think both you and I kind of have the same question about the game, is there like is it PvE? Is there PvP? Or is it like, you know, you kind of interact like in one universe, but you never really see anyone else?
And they kind of mentioned how like you could flag planets as like having a hostile environment, or like, hey, you want to stay away from here, you should go here, for other players. So like there'd be some kind of multiplayer, but they didn't really talk about like how the actual gameplay would work.
Right.
But overall, I think by far it was the best announcement of VGX, and it came out of nowhere.
That was
which is how all the best announcements are.
Yeah. That's what really. I'm so hungry, guys. That was what really threw everyone off.
That sand
is that it came out of nowhere. It was literally like when they presented it, I had no idea what was going to be shown, and then when I watched it, I was like, "When's that game coming out?" And so if you look at all of the buzz around the game so far, that's like everyone's number one question. What platform is it coming out for? Is this next gen consoles, which I think has been confirmed? What all can I do? I mean, every single post that I've seen about the game thus far, and I think the crazy thing here is this is only being developed by four dudes, and it's like not.
Yeah, that's the same.
What they were saying is like they don't want the same old, and this is what I've been echoing over and over again on the show and my commentaries. That's why I'm excited for Titanfall and Destiny. I am tired of playing the same shit over and over and over and over and over again. I'm so sick of it. And these guys seems like they're like thinking outside of the box a little bit and how they can expand on the unknown. So that, I mean, those elements really make this game appealing to me. And based on the reception that I've seen from all these comments, it's resonating a whole hell of a lot with a lot of other people right now.
Oh yeah, I've seen.
So tired of it.
Like no one's had anything bad to say about it. That's for sure.
Yep.
I think the biggest question is how the actual gameplay worked, because really it was more of a like engine demo, you could say.
That's what it looked like.
You didn't see any actual gameplay. Like he just kind of cruised around. He shot out. The most gameplay we saw was shooting a hole through an asteroid, and that was it. So that's the big question: is what the gameplay is like. But I imagine now they've had their big reveal and they kind of own the stage, that they'll be able to get lots of attention to whatever they're doing. Also, it's pretty cool. I saw some interviews. They did Joe Danger, and they said that the Joe Danger games to them were never going to be like what they were going to be known for. Like they wanted to use the Joe Danger games to get to this point. Like this is always what they wanted to build. And even though the Joe Danger games were really successful, they didn't consider that like their focus ever. Mm-hmm. It was just the stepping stone to get to this point, which I thought was pretty awesome. Versus like, hey, we have a successful game, we should just milk the shit out of it for a few years. You know what I mean? Like that's cool.
Yeah, I think the only other studio that's really taken that approach, I'm gonna say that with an asterisk, because Grand Theft Auto has been milked to hell. It's been Rockstar and maybe Valve. Like they made one game, they're like, okay, that was cool. What else can we do that's really different? You know what I'm saying? versus let me just milk this fucking Battlefield 5 times. Let me milk the shit out of Call of Duty for 20 times and just do the same thing over and over again. Even Nintendo, as much as I love how unique Mario plays every time they remake it, it's just been milked. Like, what is it, like 60 Mario titles? So I don't know. I'm interested in this because of the development team size and the potential for what I saw from that little snippet. Colin,
Seems cool.
so much potential in 2 minutes.
What's funny is that it's actually really similar to Starbound, but in 3D.
Yeah.
Although I imagine the actual gameplay will be way different, but the premise is pretty similar.
Let me see here. Next up, we got Titanfall. Updates. So, Titanfall news. Possibly other than Destiny, maybe the most anticipated news to come from VGX. Colin and I were talking about it in episode 44, kind of predicting what they were going to say. I said that it wouldn't be a beta announcement, but I was hoping that it would be.
It kind of was.
It kind of was. Kinda. But basically, during the show, they announced that there was going to be a new Titan called the Ogre, which is a heavy style mech. More armor, moves slower, probably dishes out more damage, and they showed it ripping off another Titan's arm and beating it with their own arm. And then at the end of the trailer, they also introduced him in robotics. I don't remember if that was in any of the previous trailers that we saw, kind of talking about the lore a little bit. I don't remember hearing about him in robotics. I could be wrong.
I don't think they mentioned it.
Okay, so him in robotics is making this faction's robotic equipment. So that got introduced in the video. And then at the end, they provided a number, which was 188888 Titan. That was the exact number. And if you call that number, you could really call the number. It takes you to a automated phone call that says something beta test. I don't remember what the exact wording on it is, but they talk about a beta test, like coming soon or something like that. And
it's like inquire on our beta program or something like that.
Okay, beta program. Okay, so that is the, I guess, hidden nugget that a lot of people have been speculating on. And then Zempella, remember how to say his name, Vinny Z, came on to I don't remember if it was IGN, I don't remember who it was, but he went on to, he did an interview talking about the potential for a beta test, and he said they're not ruling it out, something that they are interested in doing. So we've kind of gotten a couple with that video, plus Vince saying, hey, yeah, we're thinking about a beta, just trying to figure out how we're going to roll it out and stuff like that, or how we're going to do it if you want to do it. Sounds like it's possible. You got to think that they mentioned, Colin, that content lock was done. They're already content locked. So for anyone that doesn't know that dev speak, yeah. So that means everything is in the game as of right now. Content is locked. So everything that's shipping with the game is currently in. And
they're basically at that point. They should just do a beta.
They should just do a beta, right?
Right now, like they should just send it to us.
Just send it. That's exactly what I was thinking. So if they're in content lock already, and they're just working on polish, and it sounded like they are trying to test infrastructure and to make sure everything is friendly when this gets flipped live, because again, guys, it's all multiplayer, right? So if they don't beta test this and they just go with it live, and then they get influx of users, they could have potential issues with server stuff or whatever the case may be, a la Battlefield. Be it crashes.
And if they have a good beta, like they could have the cleanest launch of any title because they're not rushing to squeeze everything in.
Right. So, I think that there's a possibility, a very good possibility that we may see a beta. And I think if there is going to be a beta, they're probably I think that they're going to be competitive about it and time it, shortly after the holiday break.
Yeah, beginning of January.
Yeah, so like they'll have people just locked into the Titanfall universe from then on, and then say, hey, if you participated in the beta, you're gonna get this mech, whatever, unlocked automatically, or some exclusive content. I think that's what they
Some
might
paint
do
or something. Yeah.
Yep. So, and then right at the end of the show, they released the other trailer, which was the Stryder, which was a light mech, moves faster, lighter armor, more agility, and the gameplay footage that they showed was pretty sweet because they like demoed it. It flew into like a practice simulation arena, and then like they were doing a video for, oh, this is it in simulation, and then they got attacked by the other forces, the other faction, while they were doing the simulation test. It made it like, I don't know, it was like a cool trailer video. But the Striker ended up. They made it seem kind of weak though, because it got blown up right at the end.
Man. It's because he was a bad pilot.
Yeah. So
I'm not gonna get blown up. I'm just never gonna die as a Strider.
So based on the 3 mechs, we got a light, a medium, and then we got the heavy. Colin, are you going with the Ogre?
No, I'll be Stryder all the way because I already told you I want to be like objective runner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what you're thinking?
Stryder. Yep.
I haven't decided what I'm going to be. It'll probably be medium.
It seems like
all around.
You would throw like ogres on defense kind of thing, and then Stryder be like the aggressive offense type role.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of potential there. Thinking,
I mean, this is all speculation, obviously, but that's what makes sense to me. And it's similar like Unreal Championship. Like you had your kind of heavier guys in the back, right?
Yeah, it was the Juggernauts. I think is what they were called. I'm reading some of that. Reminds me of Freelancer. I think he's referring because that chat is way behind. Give me that movement. Ogre complete tank. Arctic seems to be a fan of the balance type character. First Jago, now Ogre Mech. Ogre isn't really balanced. Ogre's gonna be really slow and lumbering.
Yeah, you'll undoubtedly right down the middle.
So yeah. I mean, I guess a little bit into my background is I've always played mid offense, or just middle in general. So mid offense, mid defense. So I've always had to select characters that were right in the middle. So like on Unreal, when they were doing characters for like Unreal Championship 2K4, I would choose like the Anubis character, which was they had I think a little bit better jump ability, but they weren't as slow as the Juggernauts, and they couldn't jump as far as the robots. So it was just like right in the middle. So I would play mid offense or mid defense and support whoever our flag carrier was, or support the defender if they got out of the base. So that's I guess that's kind of why I've always liked balanced gameplay, or balanced style characters, classes, if you will. And then my next choice would be offense. Now my brother played defense, so I guess that was kind of the dichotomy there. Was he played D, I played O, and then when we got our team together, it was like I was mid O or mid D. So that's kind of how it worked out. So other than that, I mean, there wasn't really too much else that we got from Titanfall other than those 2 videos and then speculation on the beta.
Yeah.
And then that number, if you guys want to call. I don't know if you put it in the chat.
Or you just Google it and hear the message that's recorded.
Or you can just Google it. But there's the number if you want to call it right now. Call it. Say Arctic sent me. I wish you could leave a voicemail, and then at the end they played all the voicemails. Fuck you guys, I want a beta. Fucking bullshit. Then next up,
the beta program is their phone system. Thanks for participating in our phone system beta program. See you in March.
The next update we got is Destiny. Alan, I'm gonna let you take this one. Other than me saying we got a release. Did we get a release window or release date? We got a release window, I think.
No, date.
Oh, it's 9/9. What's the date? Okay, 9/9/2014. I'm just gonna say that's disappointing.
Yeah.
Disappointing release date.
Is that far away?
Yeah.
I suppose. So, I mean, it's gonna give more time to play Titanfall. I was worried about them being like overlap kind of thing, you know. But thankfully that wasn't the case. So at VGX they showed, like I said, it was basically the same stuff they shown before, just rehashed slightly differently. Like it was the director's cut edit kind of thing for the trailers they had shown. I don't think there's anything new in there, but I didn't really dig through. It looked like the same stuff. It was pretty disappointing. And then afterwards, I think today is when this came out, but Game Informer did a interview. Shit, I can grab that link. So Game Informer did an interview with the, I think it was the lead multiplayer designer. Come on. There we go. And just talking about the multiplayer portion of Destiny, which obviously as a multiplayer gamer, that's what I'm primarily interested in. I imagine it's the same for Kale. So they talked about it, and there's pretty interesting details. And let me pull up. Sorry. Maybe? No. Come on. There we go. So they talk about some details. One of them was that there's going to be... So you're a persistent character, right? You'll play your character in missions and campaign, and then you'll get items kind of like Borderlands or an MMO. You'll be able to kind of level up, go down your skill tree, get items. You'll use that same character in multiplayer, which obviously brings a lot of balance concerns along with it. They say like there's ways of them handling that and ways of them handling if a weapon gets really overpowered, but they said they weren't ready to talk about it, so there was no actual details on that. But the fact that it's gonna be the same from a like objective standpoint, it's a good thing because it means you'll be able to have your crazy cool gear in all the different modes. From like the competitive hardcore guy in me, it's basically writes the game off for competitive play to me. It's kind of similar to like Diablo PvP, where you would just kind of get your stuff and then you'd fight, and then whoever had the better gear would win, essentially. Obviously, with an FPS game, there'd be a bit more skill, in my opinion, than playing an RTS with items. But at the end of the day, like it's still going to be whatever gear you have versus your opponent until you get to the point endgame where everyone can have access to pretty much everything and they all have good gear.
Right.
Yeah, at which point, a lot of the times, there's like a class that's overpowered, right? Like, that's usually how it plays out, is at endgame, once everyone has all their shit, it's like certain classes will be better than other classes. And in order to get to that point again, you'll have to level up a new character all the way up, you know, with that class. So, it's concerning. Like, I don't see it being like a competitive MLG title. I was kind of leaning towards it probably not being that way anyways, but after hearing him talk about it, it sounds like that's definitely not going to be the case. The other thing he talked about is if you could play just multiplayer, and the heavy implication was that that'd be an awful idea, and that you should play this campaign and then hop in multiplayer after you get items.
Yeah, I mean, he was really dodging that question, like, hardcore, we're not ready to talk about it, we'll have more information, oh, we're not ready to talk about it. He said they would,
but the question was, could you play just multiplayer if that's what you're interested in, which is multiplayer? And then he's like, yeah, we're going to incentivize that you go into single player, which tells me that like you would need to go single player.
I mean, that was a complete. He completely dodged the question, though.
I don't think it was a complete dodge. I was able to hone in on what he meant, and I believe he was saying that you would need to go campaign to level up your shit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I was ever looking at Destiny as a competitive title, which I think might be disappointing because a lot of the Halo guys are looking at this as a competitive title. So ultimately, I think that for those guys, it's probably a bigger, what do I have to play now? Do I have to play Call of Duty? Am I going to play Titanfall? I don't really know what they are going to focus on. Someone said wrong scene.
It's fixed. I was showing Chrome so everyone could see the chat, so that on the VOD you'd be able to see the chat.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Since we don't have the overlay, it just made sense.
Yeah, but I'm just gonna say I don't think that I was ever looking at Destiny like a competitive title. It was always like I'm gonna have a lot of fun with my teammates on this game. We're just gonna have fun, like kind of how we were playing Diablo 3 for that short rush.
And we played Warhammer way back in the day.
And we played Warhammer way back in the day. It was like me, you, Carrington.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is exactly how I'm looking at it. So I I hope that they prove me wrong. I mean, it's Bungie. It sounds like they want to do something with competitive, but realistically, based on what he said, it sounds like it's going to be difficult, if not unmanageable, from a competitive standpoint. Who knows? Maybe once everyone reaches level 30, it'll be like League of Legends. I
No.
don't know. Just throwing a number out there. Who knows?
That is entirely ungrounded and very unlikely based on what they were saying.
Yeah, I know. I just said. Just got to throw that out there. Did you mention the voice chat?
No, I didn't. So voice chat's going to be, sorry, not squad, fire team only, which is similar like how Battlefield handles it, where you can only talk with your squad.
Squad, yeah.
So when you're in like a big like raid party or a public event, you'll only be able to talk to your party. And it sounded like the default setting would be that if someone like joined your party, and they weren't part of your friends list, or sorry, someone joined your fire squad, and they weren't part of fire team, and they weren't part of your party, you actually wouldn't have audio with them by default.
Right.
Was what it sounded like. Like they don't want people getting their perception of the game ruined by people being douchebags in chat. Was the reasoning behind it.
Arctic, doesn't the game industry say competitive just for PvP and not esports? It depends on who you're talking about. I'd say on a whole, yes. But
the vast majority of the industry would say competitive MP is multiplayer.
Correct.
Or their competitive modes is multiplayer.
Multiplayer, right.
And if you just said the word multiplayer, it could mean co-op as well.
Yeah.
So which is why they used competitive as a distinction for the most part. As far as like describing what competitive play is, like actual competitive play is, it's all over the place. I've heard people just say like MLG. I've also heard esports and also competitive used in a different verbiage. So.
Yeah, commonly, like if I were to ask people at the studio, they would say esports. Like if I were just to ask, like if I were to ask our CEO about it, who doesn't really follow it that much, if you had to describe competitive gaming, he would say, "Oh, you're talking about MLG?" Probably the first thing he would say, and then he'd say something maybe like League of Legends and esports. Those are the only things that people really know when you talk about competitive gaming on esports front. It's League of Legends, MLG. Those are the only two things I've ever really heard as of the last 3 years.
And when a developer comes out and they announce a game and they're like, yeah, we have competitive multiplayer, they're talking about there's PvP.
There's PvP, correct. So
right.
Those are the
really
two heavy hitters.
There wasn't a lot of details. And there wasn't any new gameplay in that video, I don't believe.
Those were the heavy hitters, Colin.
Yeah, those are the big ones. Again, I was really hoping for more from Destiny. I was definitely hoping for more from the Division. It was pretty disappointing seeing just an engine demo.
That sucked, to be honest.
I like the demo, but
actually next. Hold on, let me.
And there was nothing from Quantum Break either. Like they're like, yeah, we're gonna show some gameplay, and then like all the gameplay was this dude just walking around from cover to cover. That was it. There's like 8 seconds of actual gameplay, and like no bullets fired, no action whatsoever, just walking awkwardly around cover.
Xbox One update. We'll switch to that. I'm kind of disappointed with Quantum Break because I thought it was not going to be like Time Splitters or any other game where you just control time. But it sounds like that's what it's going to be. So, kind of disappointing when I saw that.
I was thinking Dishonored was the game that came to mind for me.
Dishonored? Yeah, I could see that one too. Since that's
but it is
more
like
recent.
It's cover based, so I don't know.
So I'm not too happy about that, really. But there's an update, Major Nelson. This update pretty much addresses very minor things, other than I think the performance of the dashboard. I didn't really see anything here that people have really been talking about too much. So These must have been quick fixes to be like, hey guys, yeah, we just want to show you that we're working on stuff. We'll push this out real quick. So we got to address the smart glass issues for some users when coming in and out of connected standby. Addresses multiplayer issues for some users when rejoining games. Addresses issues with inconsistent notifications for some users. Which I don't know if that's the delays that you're getting. So like, here's an example. I played Rise last night before I started streaming, and I got a couple clips that got recorded, and at least one of the clips said game clip recorded after I was done playing, and then I went back and watched it, and I was like gameplay from 2 minutes prior. So I think that's what that addresses. The big one is addresses dashboard performance for some users. So basically, it's just OS sluggishness kind of feel to it. So I'm hoping that is what they're referring to there for the improvements. And then offers improvements for Xbox One's TV, system update, and content update services for scaling over time. Not sure what that entails specifically. It just sounds like it's a future update.
Yeah, that's back-end stuff.
Yeah. Updated wireless networking driver to improve connectivity issues for some users. And so that one is pretty self-explanatory. Wireless network users. The big thing I think that Major Nelson kind of hinted at with that release is I think he worded in there that, hey guys, we're still working on all this other stuff. Don't think that we haven't, ignored this. But the big things are like the lack of clarity on storage that you have on your system. What was the big one? The party chat stuff is what people are really complaining about.
Yeah, that's the biggest one.
So I think that's the one that the fix that everyone is waiting for is, hey, why is party chat so broken in comparison to Xbox 360, which we talked about I think last week or the week before. So hopefully those will come out. I'm thinking since they just pushed this one out, maybe, what do you think? First week January, somewhere around there, maybe even before Christmas.
I don't know. The party chat one they said was the reason they did it the way they did was because of how their hardware is set up, software is set up. So it sounded like that might not be an easy fix.
Yeah, I don't know. So hopefully that one gets sorted out immediately because that's the most annoying of all of them. My rant last week or week before, I can't remember the rants. One of those weeks. That's pretty much it on Xbox One, but I wanted to include that since it just came out like right before we did the show, news about it. Do you want to talk about the let's go to the content claims. YouTube content ID claims. So over the last 24 hours, 48 hours, 24 is about 24 hours. A lot of YouTube channels have been getting content ID claims, some getting takedowns of their videos for a number of titles. I know that, for example, Ashley, who I follow, she does a lot of Mass Effect stuff. All of her things got flagged. So she's working out, trying to get that all squared away. I think GTA content, I don't know if GTA 5 or which one. People are having issues with those. And I initially tweeted EA and Activision as kind of taking down a lot of the stuff. But apparently, based on what people are telling me, those two publishers are actually advocating YouTube content creation for gaming. So I have no idea who's citing these. I think from the content claims that I've seen, all of it is music and games. So, if you have a song playing that is a song produced during your Let's Play or whatever from that game, those seem to be getting flagged. And you get content ID matches on those. But YouTube released a new software or whatever built in that lets you scrub that audio out. So you can actually go into the audio, click remove song, and then save it. And then YouTube will process that, remove your content ID match, and then your video just doesn't have that music on it. So if that does happen to you and you happen to have a content ID match, you don't want to worry about missing out on your monies or possible infringement and strikes on your channel, try to use that tool. It's in your audio settings. But Colin, do you think, and I mentioned this on YouTube, Sundance actually mentioned something about this coming, I want to say like in the summer. Like he was like, hey, I'm sorry to tell you guys, or something, there's going to be a lot of changes coming sometime next year, early next year. And I think we're starting to see some of that. And he actually responded to me saying that, yeah, this is some of the stuff I was talking about.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that I think all of us have known is going to happen at some point. Like, there's going to be really it needs legislation. Like, there needs to be legislation, right? Because it's all uncharted territory as far as what is considered ownership of property. Because the real crux of the issue is that if I buy a game, should I be able to like distribute that media across platforms if I'm doing some kind of production? Like, what qualifies as my content is the kind of blurred line. Like if I had commentary over a gameplay clip as a let's play, is that like my content or is that still the game's content, you know?
Right.
So I think that's always been the crux of the issue, and there hasn't been any kind of legislation around it. YouTube is in the position where they can enforce whatever the hell they want, and everyone else has to kind of bend to their will. You know, like there's no way around that. Like they can do whatever they want. It's their site. From a publisher and developer standpoint, it's a matter of, hey, people can say bad things about our game on YouTube. Do we want to allow people to say things about our game on YouTube at all? Like, yes, it can be free publicity for some, but it's also a big negative thing for some other games. Like SimCity, for example, probably had a detrimental launch because of all the YouTube videos.
Exactly.
And that's my biggest concern, is that this is going to be used more for censorship than like preventing copyright.
And
there's already the practice of paying people to do videos for various games. Like that's a thing. Not just from a review aspect, but like, hey, can you preview our game, yada yada yada, and then people will shell out money, and then you'll be able to put up a video. So now you have it so that you can pick which people can put up content for your game, and then just bar out everyone else. Like that seems a little wrong to me. And then like there's the fact that some people are saying, well, you can put it up, but you can't monetize it. But if you can't monetize content, no one's gonna make the content. Like,
right.
Sorry, but that's just how it is. Like, no one who is worth a damn is going to make content and continue making content if they can't monetize it. Because you're spending, like, hell, when I did Gears videos for like the lesson series, that was like 12 hours of it at least. And most of the top YouTubers spend about the same. Like, it's a good 6 to 10 hours for a quality video. And if they're not getting anything back on that, it's really hard to justify continuing to put out videos. So, again, like, if there is a monetization, then the quality of content is going to go down. And if there is monetization, then you have to deal with the good and the bad. And really, publishers shouldn't be able to just pick and choose.
That's yeah.
That's my concern.
That's a valid argument. And someone mentioned Total Biscuit, but he actually posted a video from a studio that asked him to do a this is, or what the fuck is, whatever game it was. I don't remember what the name of the game was. And then he posted the video, and then he had not nice things to say about it. And so, as a result, he the developer got a takedown notice on his content. It's like, you paid me. You asked me to do this. Have you not watched any of my videos before?
YouTube just takes it down.
They just take it down. Like, no questions.
There isn't warning or anything. They just take it down. Like, there's no process currently at YouTube for review of copyright infringement. Like, they just take it down.
Right.
If they have reason to believe. I'm not even sure what the requirement is, but even if you had like some kind of proof, I believe they would take it down and then review the proof.
That's exactly the process. That is exactly.
I'm not even sure if they even review it. Like, realistically, I'm not sure what constitutes legitimate proof in order to get stuff reinstated. Most of the time, I haven't seen it reinstated.
So, I really don't know who to be like, yeah, let's rally behind them. Obviously, since EA and Activision are advocating videos, I'm gonna use that word loosely because I'm sure they probably issued out their own set of takedown notices. At least with the major channels, they're probably advocating that they continue posting videos. But I think that there's opportunity with indie developers. I keep mentioning that. And Total Biscuits was, I think, a rare case. But if you are interested in a game like, let's say, let's use Minecraft as the example. That game blew up because of YouTube, right? There's no question about it. Had they not done all, or had the big, huge Minecraft community, I don't know what that game would look like. It might still be big, but I don't think it would be nearly as big as it is if there wasn't promotion for that game. And that wasn't a publisher behind that game pushing it. That was a community-driven thing. So there are certainly games that have an appeal about them because of YouTube and because of what developers have allowed them to do. Halo is a good example with Forge, Theater. Like Bungie is thinking about that. Valve is another good example with Team Fortress, the Source filmmaker. They're thinking about it. So I don't see why, if some of the main players in the industry are the leading example of why you would want to promote on YouTube, why everyone else would be like, other than for the same fact that and reason that you brought up, Colin, censorship, why would you not want free publicity? Like, it makes absolutely no sense. Like, you are not paying someone to post a video, good or bad. I guarantee it generates some type of interest in your game had they not posted the video anyway. Like, it just makes zero sense. Zero. None. Who cares if you don't get to, like, it's almost as bad as the music industry, right? Major labels saying, hey, you're streaming this song in your video, please don't do that. And it's like, you're not distributing it to sell, but I understand that people could possibly rip that if they wanted to. Or that for streaming players, for example, they make people pay these absurd royalties, right? For like Pandora or Spotify or all the other radio, RDO, whatever it is. All these streaming services that are basically going belly up because the insane royalties that the music industry puts on these guys. To me, it's getting near that level with gaming because of how kind of people are. Studios, sometimes publishers want more money. Like, what money are you going to get? Like, if they post a video and they didn't monetize on it, you're not making any money other than saying you're going to get a sale off the game. Now, if you were going to buy that game anyway based on someone's video, if they were monetizing or if they weren't monetizing, they sold you on the game. So what would it matter to EA or whoever? I'm going to use THQ, who doesn't exist. Let's use THQ. What would THQ? Why would they care? Right? Either way.
Like, the general argument is that the publisher and developer aren't getting their cut. But really, they are, because that's the sales, right?
The cut is the sale of the game, right? Yeah. What cut? Like, make a video then. Make a video that is more compelling. Like, if you're so worried about it, if you want to mop up the scene, create a content team that starts just dishing out the YouTube videos nonstop, and then you can fucking monetize, right? If you're that worried about it, like, your videos are they're gonna be more up to date. They're gonna have new content. They're gonna probably have bigger followings than all of the other YouTubers because the people that are interested in your game are gonna subscribe to your channel. So if you want to monetize on YouTube.
It's such a small amount of money, though.
It is.
Like, that's the funny thing to me, is that like if they post up a video that gets like 20 million views, a studio isn't even going to recoup its costs to make like a high quality trailer on that. You know what I mean?
It makes no sense.
In terms of YouTube profits, like,
it makes absolutely no sense. No sense. None. Like, it's baffling to me that there's still people trying to issue content ID strikes. Like, people are pirating the game. Like, no one's pirating your game. Like, get the fuck out of here. I don't get it. I can't download your game from a fucking YouTube video. I might get information on how to download the game from a YouTube video or buy the game from a YouTube video, but But the point of sale isn't on that video. Like, I say it, oh man, I'm interested in this game. I'll go to the store, go buy the game, then you're gonna get your cut.
The cool thing to be is if they would actually, you know how when you go to a video that has a song on YouTube, it'll say like in the description thing, it'll be like blankety blank by Kanye West, and then it'll have the album picture. You can actually click it to go buy.
Yeah.
They should do that for games, and then maybe even do some profit sharing thing.
There you go.
If I referred them over and then made them buy the game, like, where's my cut of the sales? You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, I got a video, and we talked about.
That's how I see it personally. Like, usually, if you refer a product, then you'll get a cut of the sales for most products.
I've had multiple people over the course of the last 3 years or so that I've been doing gaming videos. Because first it was product centric. I think when I started YouTube partnership, 2010.
Yeah.
Doing products.
If you're first one to a product, then you get a cut.
I've had
like
so many people, and you have too, say, if you guys weren't playing this game, if you guys didn't do this video, I either wouldn't know how to play, or I wouldn't have purchased it, or I would not have known about this game otherwise. Over and over and over again. And our channel is so small by comparison to some of these guys that are getting flagged and having issues right now. So small to have literally hundreds of people tell us we would not have gotten this game if it wasn't for you guys. I can only imagine how detrimental that is to those guys if, you know, the sales just stop. Like, I'm not going to go back to fucking IGN and go read a review when I can go listen to this guy that's going to tell me like it is.
Right.
That's the power of YouTube. That's why it's so popular right now, and IGN and all those other guys are flailing because they don't give it to you raw. Like, they just don't. They sugarcoat shit. They get paid to sometimes like, here's the conflict with a lot of these guys, right? They'll have a paid advertisement on a specific game. So that means the publisher they just dished out money. Hey, can you promote this game for a week? You'll see IGN with these big, huge banners like, oh my God, this game is out. Right? That's their biz dev. That's this side. Then on the other side, they have a guy that's reviewing the game. Assassin's Creed, blah, blah, blah. This game was pretty good. I'm going to give it an 8.5. And then they don't talk anything about the multiplayer. All they talk about is a single player. So they give you half the amount of information that you need. Not to mention the fact that there's a big, huge banner saying, oh, go buy this game now. It's out. Right behind the fucking back of their site. Like, don't you guys see the conflict there?
It doesn't even have to be for that game. Like, it can be from that publisher, another game from that publisher, and they're taking the money from the publisher to advertise another game, you know? It could also, like, most games come from, like, what, 4 or 5 publishers? And those same 4 or 5 publishers are the primary clients for gaming websites when they have to sell ad space. Like, you're not going to risk a business relationship by bombing their AAA game.
And this is exactly why YouTube is taking over when it comes to content, because you get real people. Like, you're not getting some dude that's working at IGN or Kotaku or wherever, Polygon, fluffing up some game. Like, I don't know. Take away that, you're gonna see something. It's gonna be hurting. Just, that's all I'm saying.
It's gonna be interesting to see how it moves forward. What I really like is for like a site to surface which just hosts permission letters from developers and publishers, where I could just reference that as my source for the content. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then have that be acceptable. But I'm not sure if they would accept it from a third-party website, even if it like had the person's name on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, what they consider proof is very flexible.
Very.
Yeah. It sucks if you have a popular video and it gets taken down, you won't get any of the profits for it. It's like you get some video that's like goes viral and it gets like 1 million hits, but they take it down and they say that you had copyright infringement. Even if they reinstate it, you usually won't get paid for those views because it was off the ad thing during the time.
Which I just want to point out, one of the reasons that we started doing the show was to kind of get out of some of that stuff. And one of the reasons I started picking back up on product reviews is like making sure that this channel is very diverse for YouTube. Very diverse in what we're talking about.
What are we talking about?
Twitch TV. Game DVR Twitch TV. So I'm gonna try to kind of preface this because I threw this in there. I'm gonna make this the last topic because we're about to roll out, coming up on that hour and a half mark. So there was a couple of tweets that I saw that I thought were very funny, kind of funny and expected, I guess. So the first tweet I read was from a YouTuber. Well, it was from AverMedia retweeting a YouTuber that did comparisons between AverMedia's Game Capture HD and Game DVR, saying, "Oh my God, Game Capture HD or whatever, the Game Capture HD2 or something like that is so much better than the Game DVR in terms of quality." All right, so I just chuckled. Then I see Elgato do the same thing. They get someone that does a comparison between what the Elgato can do versus what Game DVR can do. And then there's also this idea for streaming as well. Like, okay, you're going to get 480p streaming currently with Twitch versus whatever else you can get with, you know, Game Capture HD, if it be it 720p or 1080p. All right, so my issue with all of this, not that they're not valid arguments, not that these companies shouldn't be doing this, is that you, as a consumer, if you're interested in getting on to YouTube or Twitch or whatever, do not concern yourself with some of these products, right? So for the purpose of getting content out and showing people gameplay, Game DVR and built-in integration blows the products out of the water. Just end of blows it out of the water, right? To be able to hop onto my Xbox, not have to buy a capture card if I don't want one, upload it to the cloud, pull that video down on my computer, do the commentary do the commentary and editing on the system, and then come in, drag it from the cloud, and then upload it to YouTube. That is amazing. Amazing. And the fact that people, or YouTubers especially, are trying to be like, oh yeah, you should totally buy this $200 product to get into the YouTube scene so your quality is... I wouldn't give two shits about my quality in comparison. You know, like I think it's 1280p, or I'm sorry, 720p for the Game DVR and Xbox One, but its bitrate is like 4 megs instead of... to give you an example, if I'm capturing, I usually do LAN. I do 10 to 15 megs minimum, sometimes 18. So
you think it's 4 megs?
4. I think the bare minimum that most would do is probably 6. But regardless, like if you look, like I've posted video and people's comments aren't like, man, this video quality is sure shitty. They're like, oh my God, the video quality is pretty damn good for Game Capture HD, which you're not paying for. You're not paying for that. It's built into it. So you don't necessarily need an extra $200 to spend on a product that is going to improve your quality marginally on a site that already compresses your quality. Like,
yeah, it's the time limitation that's bigger for me.
It is marginal. So the fact that I saw people, YouTubers specifically, rallying behind, like, oh yeah, you need to use this capture card in order to have the best quality. Shut up. Like, no. Just no. Just no. Game DVR and these Twitch TV integration is absolutely groundbreaking for people that could not get into this scene otherwise. To back this up, I pulled some stats which Sony shared. Since the console's launch, they made this thing that they said the total time stream right now is added up to 38 years worth of streaming. That's a lot. That's a lot of content. It's a lot in a short amount of time. As a testament to growing appeal of live broadcasting video game content, the amount of broadcasters on Twitch has grown from around 600,000 in October to more than 700,000 in November. So that's pretty big. Pretty big. I don't know what the stats are like now. In addition to more than 100K new broadcasters signing up since the launch of PlayStation 4, PS4 owners make up 10% of all content on Twitch based on minutes broadcast.
Okay.
It's pretty good. Now you got to think, once Xbox One launches theirs, can be another little surge in this content cycle. And this is no capture cards, it's just straight from your system. You don't need a capture card to do all this stuff because it's starting to be built in and integrated. So I think that just from a sense of, kind of making this available to everyone is groundbreaking in a sense that you do not have to shell out $200 for a new product. $200, bare minimum. So don't listen to the bullshit from AverMedia or El Gato or Pop Hog or who else am I missing, Colin? Roxio or whoever else for next gen. Don't listen to the bullshit. Like, if you are interested in streaming and you want to get your stuff out there and you don't have the money to do so, don't worry about saving up $200. Just start doing it on the system. Period. Now, Colin, you can go ahead with whatever you got to say on that.
I'll counter with the fact that everyone streaming through the system is going to look the same. You can't really do overlays in any kind of a meaningful way. Same on PlayStation, the overlay is pretty shit, and you're stuck with that static overlay. And on top of that, all your quality is the same. So like, there's nothing to put you over the top of another stream to get the initial kind of following. Obviously, if you have an entertaining personality, you might be able to rise above that. But when you say that PlayStation accounts for 10% of the minutes
streamed.
Yeah, like, the ultimate fact is that, well, I guess that's realistically 10% of the stream traffic.
Yeah.
Would just be the other way of saying that. So that's a lot of people streaming, all with around 0 to 5 viewers. So when I'm looking through a list and it's like 100 channels that are all like that, and there's nothing like setting any of them apart, like they all look exactly identical, it's going to be difficult to overcome that.
It will be, and I think is the risk that you take if you're trying to do this full time. Like, today, for example, I was looking through, for work purposes, looking through a lot of the Twitch TV streamers, and so I was looking through a bunch of different games, which games plays a big factor in the number of people watching. So if you're the only person streaming at 480p on a game that no one is playing currently, be it whatever game you're interested in, you might start building a following for that game. All right. But the other thing is that some of these people want to do this full time, or want to do it, when they get home from school or get home from work, and try to build this up as supplemental income. And so it's when you make that distinction between I want to be better than this versus I just want to get content out, that I think that the choice needs to be made. Well, how can I just start making my content look better than someone else's? Be it what you were saying, frames, overlays.
I guess what I was saying is that, like, anyone can make content now. Like, that's the reality of it.
Exactly.
To a point where, if you just want to make content, then by all means you can make content now. If you actually wanted to kind of escape the flood of content, which is going to crop up over the next year or two, then you kind of have to do something to set yourself apart. And I'm not sure if you could do it through the built-in tools, but we'll see. I think also a lot of streaming also comes down a lot to community involvement, and then like having a name for yourself in the community, so that you can get that initial like 10 to 15 viewers, and then build that. From what I've seen.
Sexy Potato, wow, fuck UPS. They left my package in my front porch and it got stolen. Oh man, that sucks. Yeah. So that's all I had to say with that, because I saw people kind of rallying behind that, like, no, you need to go out and buy this because of the quality. No, you don't. Like, if you just want to make content, which is 99.9% of the people out there that have asked me, they're just like, hey, I'm saving up to buy this. Like, how often do you hear people say that, Colin? Like what are you on right now? You're on your phone, and before that you were using a mic, just a mic. Like, you weren't like, hey, Kale, we can't do the show this week because I don't have my mic in yet. You weren't saying that. Like, we just like, hey, we're gonna do this show, let's do it. We don't really care. And as we go along, like we're gonna start upgrading, and that's what you do if you're interested in doing this. Like you just don't be like, oh, I'm not gonna do this because I need this, this, and this. Like you just do it, and that's what these systems are letting you do now. You can just do it. So don't be like, oh, I need to save up $200 to get this quality. Fuck that, and fuck everyone that tells you that you need to do that, because that's not what you need to do. Just do it. Nike got it right. Do that shit. Last thing I got is the CronusMAX. Yeah, I'm so happy.
Your cheater device?
CronusMAX. Fuck you, I'm not using it to cheat.
Pretty much a cheater device. It's aimed at cheaters.
It is a cheater device, but I am not fucking using it to cheat, damn it. This is linked in the Twitch chat. This show is sponsored by Nike. I don't wear Nike shoes anymore. I wear Supras. I don't think Supra has a skate hard.
Stay hard?
Skate
you say
hard.
Stay hard?
No, I said skate. Skate.
Okay.
Skater shoes. Skate hard.
Stay hard. That's the wrong kind of shoes.
Yeah. There you go. That's my Supra slogan. Skate hard. And I'm not even a skater. Be like Lil Wayne. Fake ass skater. So there you go. There's I linked it in Twitch chat. Can't link it on YouTube. Sorry guys. That is the benefit of watching on Twitch versus YouTube. Because like linking on there is just a pain in the ass. But Kronos, this came out today actually. It's a little USB adapter. It actually looks exactly like this, except black. This is the little USB flash drive. HP did not sponsor this show. But basically, they have it so that you can use a bunch of different controllers including mouse and keyboard, which is why Colin's kind of trying to call me a cheater, on your Xbox One currently. So the reason I was even remotely interested in this, because obviously we cannot cheat. Like it is just not in our nature to cheat for competing purposes, because every time you go to a LAN event, like if I were cheating on mouse and keyboard at home and that's all I practiced on, when I went to a LAN event I'd have to use a controller because that's all that is legal. So I would never put myself in a situation where I wouldn't be practicing in an environment that would be the exact same as what I'm going to practice or play on at a LAN environment. So it's never ever crossed my mind. So Colin, don't you be starting that shit. All right. So we just had to set the record straight. Now the reason I'm interested in the CronusMAX is because I have, they're now at work, I have my Razer Aatrox fight stick, arcade stick, and it was free, but it normally would cost $200. All right, so let's hypothetically say I spent $200 for this, and I want to use it on next gen. I can't. So the only reason I was remotely interested in this is that I could hook up my Xbox One or Xbox 360 arcade stick and play Killer Instinct without paying another $200 to buy a Mad Catz whatever one that, I mean, I had a Mad Catz stick. I just don't feel like buying another one when arcade stick, they typically last a very long time. Like you use the same one for years.
Some program those macros.
No.
Go the Hadouken instantly.
No. Colin.
One button press Hadoukens.
Colin.
Firewalls flying from everywhere.
Stop it.
Hadouken, 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 Hadouken. This guy's cheating.
I would never cheat. All I want to do is be able to use my arcade stick without paying an additional $200 just to use an arcade stick that I already have. I had $350 worth of arcade sticks that I bought not even 6 months ago, and now I can't use them. Like that is, I'm not going to spend another $200 to make $550 worth of arcade sticks because of an adapter. Like if there's a legitimate adapter that is not Kronos that comes out, I know CDN got his modded by someone. Can't remember who he said. He tweeted me. But basically, that's all I want. I don't care about using the Sabertooth on the Xbox One because Razer's probably going to make another controller. Mad Catz is going to make a controller. Scuff is going to make a controller that are going to be better than the Xbox One controller. I don't care about using that. I don't care about using the PS4 controller on the Xbox One, which is also a possibility. I don't care about using the Xbox 360 controller on the Xbox One because I don't like the Xbox 360 controller in comparison to the other controllers out there, Sabertooth in particular. So the rest of the features don't even matter to me. Mouse and keyboard being the one that I'm least concerned with because that one is just blatant cheating. So is it gun moaned modded CDNs? That is who I need to get in touch with, or just someone here in Austin.
I mean, yeah, like if you're gonna pay $60, then just pay someone to do it.
Just pay someone to do it, exactly. So that is my I guess news with this thing that I wanted to talk about is just like this device is out, might be worth it for some of you that are interested in using this. I'm obviously interested in it because of the arcade stick compatibility.
What you're really saying is that now I can already start calling people out for using mouse and keyboard every time I die?
Maybe.
Oh, man, he's on Cronus.
The issue with the mouse and keyboard is that there was input lag.
Oh yeah, it was atrocious.
It was awful. So
unplayable with the Zim.
Yeah, it was just horrific from the video I watched. Like why would you even put yourself in that situation? I would never do that.
Fighting game, I would think.
No, the fighting game I didn't notice that many. Learn to mod your stick? What do you mean?
Learn to mod your stick.
I don't know what all stuff I need. Else I would.
To mod your stick. Just go down to the arcade down here.
Hat trick? I know. That's what we need to do. We got a nice one, too.
Yeah, just hang out over there. Just ask me if we can mod your stick.
Hey.
Actually, be very careful with your verbiage.
Or, yeah. Can someone mod my arcade stick?
I need someone who's able to handle my stick.
Is the only one making their own console? I haven't heard anything about that. Odds are, since iBuyPower did something with the Steam box and whoever else, I'm sure there's going to be more people. I wouldn't be surprised if there's something like that for Alienware and HP and I don't know, Nvidia and whoever else do something with Steam. I don't know. I'm trying to look at questions because we're on questions Q&A session right now. CronusMAX, Cronus Maximus. I'm looking at both chats now. Got the Twitch chat in one and the YouTube chat on the other. Guess you had bad luck with technology this year?
Eat a can, no star.
Is the Razer Atrox only for the 360? Yes, it is, unfortunately. Only for the 360. $200.
Yeah, they're going to release an adapter? Have they announced anything?
What's that?
Have they announced they're going to release an adapter?
Who, Razer? No.
Yeah.
I saw that Astro had an adapter.
You should harass me about it.
Did you see that?
No.
Min posted something to me and Quinn about having he said he hears us loud and clear about getting a controller on the Xbox One. Didn't anyone hear about NBA 2K? What's that?
It'd be nice to have a controller to hop on once I buy my Xbox. Not have to ever deal with that fucking sandpaper stick.
By the way, we didn't mention the results of Killer Instinct. I'm sorry, Northeast Land. Team Spooky. The Justin Wong show.
Justin Wong show.
So here are the results.
Pretty impressive.
On Shoryuken. That was the one esports event I watched this weekend, which I mentioned at the beginning of the show. I just didn't talk about the results. Justin Wong won Street Fighter 4, got second in Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Chris G won that. Won Killer Instinct. And there was another one Street Fighter X Tekken, which I didn't include. He won that as well. So he came away with a hefty sum of money from that event and won one new game, Street Fighter 4, and did exceptionally well in Marvel vs. Capcom, and won Street Fighter X Tekken. Crazy, crazy. I watched all of Killer Instinct top 8, which was pretty good. Injustice was Pimpin' Jim. Pimpin' Jim won. Tyrant got second. Blind Ducky got third. Killer Instinct results: Wong, CD Jr. got second. Flo got third. So EG 1-3 win Killer Instinct. Marvel vs. Capcom, I said, was Chris G, Justin Wong second. And Filipino Champ was third. Street Fighter 4 was Wong, PR Balrog, and then Chris G in third. Did you feel the M1 and M2 buttons need better placement on the Sabertooth? Yeah, I mean, I talked to them about that when we were in development cycles for it, and the other designs I didn't particularly like. Let's put it that way. If Epic Games were to make a game, would you try to reach out to them and join the team? They are making a game, Fortnite. I have not reached out to them to be on the team. Arctic, how was the meat? Oh, Colin. Oh, wait, guys, I'm gonna be right back. I gotta show you guys this meat.
I need to make a sensor bar real quick. Hold on.
Oh.
Oh, okay, that kind of meat.
You guys know you like that. That's where
I got my.
You guys like that meat, boy.
That's where I got my smoked turkey. I went from work was from Salt Lake.
I got big ribs. Thing of ribs. Actually showed the raffle on YouTube. Video I posted right before we did the show.
We're not a fan of Salt Lake.
Colin.
I think it's probably my least favorite barbecue joint in town.
Have you had Dickies yet?
No, I haven't had Dickies.
You need to come over here this weekend. We'll go see one of the movies that's out, because there's a couple. We got to go to Dickies.
Old Boy.
Old Boy. We got to go see Old Boy, which we've already seen I've already seen. There's a Korean?
I made you watch the Korean version, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is, it's legit. If you guys haven't seen Old Boy, don't see it in theaters.
The original Old Boy.
Don't see it in theaters. Just acquire a copy of the Korean original with subtitles or whatever. Don't do like a dub or anything. Do subtitles. Watch that. And then you can go see the movie if you want, but make sure you watch that one first. Seriously. And there's a whole series of them. It's called like the Revenge Trilogy.
Okay, yeah. Am I going
to sleep Lady with Vengeance and No Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance?
Am I going to sleep with my ribs tonight? No. I'm not going to sleep with it, but I was debating on having that instead of pizza. But I showed Christy, and she's like, I'm going out to Maggiano's tonight, which is this nice Italian restaurant. And so I was like, oh, well, I'll just save it until she's home. Because I can eat all those ribs, but if I eat them all, then I'll feel bad. And if I eat them all, she'll also say something to me. So I can't
feel sick. I can't feel. You just feel bad.
That's what I mean. Like, I feel bad. Like not bad because she didn't get to eat them. Bad because I would feel sick.
No, you wouldn't be sick.
I wouldn't be sick, but I would feel sick. Did I tell you the time I ate so much food at a Brick House that I couldn't swallow my spit?
there was no room in your body for spit.
Yes, literally, guys. I don't think I've told the show. I thought I told it on the show when this happened.
It means you were choking.
I ate so much food. I had chicken and waffles. Then we had this huge thing of Austin Amber. It was like, I don't know. It was almost like it's like a pitcher, flute? But it was in a long cylinder.
A flute.
It's a flute. Yeah. Was it at Brick House? Have you been there? Have you seen it?
Yeah.
All right. So I mean, it's huge, and so I had and the glasses there were really big too. So I had maybe 3. This is on lunch break on a Friday at work, and so I get to work after that, and I'm like, dude, guys, I can't move. Like I literally, like was hurting up the elevator, walking, sat down, and the longer it sat, the worse I felt. And so like it came to a point where I could not swallow my spit. Like I was spitting in the trash can because it hurt. It was that bad. It's that bad. So
that's pretty awful.
yeah. Couldn't swallow my spit.
Chicken and waffles though.
Can't wait for Hobbit Friday. Gotta get the Cajun bootleg ribs.
Is Hobbit on Friday?
It is, I think. I didn't care for the first one.
It's alright.
Cool. The shot was cool, but I don't know. Let's talk about loadout. What about loadout?
It's like 5 streams a week that you can talk about loadout.
No. No, there's only one now because we're in crunch.
Oh. Videos, though.
Yeah, that's true. I'm looking at YouTube questions now. Can I have a taste of your meat? Yeah, you can. Taste of my ribs. Hey, Arca just joined the chat. What do you think about the new YouTube policies taking effect? Oh,
we talked about it already.
You missed it, T-Page. Oh, man. Missed it.
Watch the VOD and be on time next time.
Sorry, T-Page.
The cool thing is that because we're doing this on Twitch and YouTube, the VOD should go up almost immediately after.
Yeah, it'll be really quick.
We won't have the long delay while we wait for it to download and upload.
On top of that, Colin, when Time Warner goes down, that stream
one
is
of the
still
streams
going.
will be up. One of our streams will remain up.
Yeah, one of the streams will be up, and if it's on, like if the YouTube one goes down, it just blacks it out, keeps the same video, so I don't have to cut an hour and a half long of video, and then it just, I think it actually takes that dead time and compresses it, or condenses it, I should say, and then it picks right back up.
Nice.
Are you interested in Dark Souls 2? Can't say that I am. Not really. Any more questions? Frag Logic plus pizza equal happy camper. Yeah, buddy.
I think we're good to finish this one out.
All right.
Next week, I'm at my full setup. No more of this Cracker Box shit. And we'll be doing it live.
I hope so.
And then my internet's probably got problems or some shit like that. Inevitably.
I feel like saying you ain't got the answer, Sway, about Time Warner Cable. I got to figure out something I can say about that. They call me up. You ain't got the answers. Do my Kanye. You seen that, Colin?
I have no idea.
Oh my God, I got to show you that video. Kanye went off. You ain't got the answers, Sway. You ain't got the answers. Like a new meme. So I got to say that about TWC. Or I'm going to say it about EA. You ain't got the answers, EA. Talk about that. You ain't got the answers. I'm gonna do it. Next rant. Watch. Time Warner Cable goes out and I get a call from them. I gotta show you that video though. Alright guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the show on YouTube. Hope you guys enjoyed the show on Twitch. We're going to go ahead and sign off. And we will see you next week. I will probably be streaming something here shortly. I have to see if I have to go pick up my daughter. I might have to go pick her up. And then I'll be back and possibly streaming. But I'm gonna show Colin this "You Ain't Got the Answers" Sway video.
All right, thanks for watching, guys.
Later.
See you next week.